Vazhuovur is a more recent Bani with no clear established lineage of historical evidence. Guru Ramaya Pillai, born 1910 till 1979, studied under two branches, Bharatanatyam, his mother Bhagyamal's brother, so his uncle, and Guru Muthukumaran Pillai of Kattumanar Koil. Thus he benefited from both Bharatanatyam and Muthukumaran Pillai of Kattumanar Koil. Historians debate if he is part and parcel of that style and Bani or he created his own. And his own work proves otherwise. Bharatanatyam was the son of Natuvnar, who studied Abhinaya under Madhurukantam Jagadambal, one of the many Devadasis who trained under Natuvnar. These talents predate Tanjore quarter, it seems, though there is no historical evidence. Whatever the history and lineage, claims and counterclaims by his family and students, one of his gurus, Guru Muthukumaran Pillai, advised him to go to Madras to seek his fortune in films. We are talking of 1940s. Guru Muthukumaran Pillai even gave Ramaya Pillai one of his ready-made students, Kamala Lakshman, one of Bharatanatyam's brightest stars as a child dancers, whose Arangetram had been done by Guru Muthukumaran Pillai's student M.K. Selvamani, India's first woman Natuvnar and elder sister of famous Guru of Bharatanatyam, M.K. Saroja. And officially it was performed, the Arangetram of Kamala Lakshman, in Madanapallai. There was scare of bombing by the Japanese in the period of World War II, and many inhabitants of Madras left Madras and settled outside in nearby villages of Andhra, and Madanapallai happened to be where both M.K. Saroja, M.K. Selvamani and Kamala Lakshman went and stayed as neighbors. Of course, when Kamala Lakshman came under the tutelage of Ramaya Pillai, when he went to Madras, she became an instant hit in the films. Rest, as they say, is history. Vazhuovur style of Bharatanatyam originated in the village of Vazhuovur or Vazhuovur, a village in the vicinity of Medulthurai in Tanjore district of Tamil Nadu. It is the native place of Ramaya Pillai, who popularized this style of Bharatanatyam. The distinct characteristics of the Vazhuovur Bani are: performance begins with the Thodaya Mangalam in praise of Lord Gyananeswar of Vazhuovur. The dancer starts the performance while entering the stage from the wings. Static postures are performed most often in the Tillana to break the monotony and to add to the variety of rhythms. The jatis have more choruais, intervals, which creates a suspense effect. The dancer's torso from the waist up is slightly bent forward. The adavus flow smoothly with rare aberrant movements. Beautiful leaps are introduced into every jati. Abhinaya is supple and more natyadharmi spontaneous expressions, so the presentation is not overdone. Lasya dominates Tandava. Deep seating positions and variety of positions on the floor. Popularly known as Vazhuovur, Ramaya Pillai's sense of oral and visual aesthetics gave a certain refinement, grace and musicality to the style that came to be known as Vazhuovur Bani. He denies that he created anything new. He admitted only to having carried out certain modifications and reintroduced certain aspects which had existed previously but had been discontinued, and these only in accordance to established norms and without deviating from tradition. On the changes or innovations that he introduced through his teaching and conducting, Ramaya Pillai said in an interview, "I have certainly not given up anything that is traditional. I have only built on them further. I found that some aspects of earlier dance, which were according to Shastras, have been given up. I worked to reintroduce them. For example, the 108 Karnas, once in vogue, had been neglected. I did research. I studied the sculptures in the Tanjore and Chidambaram temples and taught them to my students. It was I who started the practice of the dancers striking sculpturesque poses. But there are rules regarding what should be done and where and how. Whatever the dancer does must be beautiful. It is not right to lift the hand or leg unnecessarily. Teaching these things must be done systematically. For teaching karanas, line drawings should be prepared and the students trained to follow them. Appropriate songs and jatis should be choreographed, for if only karanas are done, it would be like a circus. The karanas should come with bhava, raga and tala. They should be taught only to those capable of executing them. Others should not be taxed. The teacher must have a sound knowledge of music and must be able to sing. Those who dance must know how to sing. I have kept musicians with me at home, instructed them to sing each song as it should be sung, and then made them sing for recitals. I brought back into vogue the tirmanams, which are mainly those which were composed by my elders. Sometimes I added some new ideas to them. Ramaya Pillai travelled extensively in search of materials suitable for new dance compositions. He visited numerous temples in the south. He also studied various authoritative texts on dance deeply. Based on this research, he composed many new dances that underscored Ramaya Pillai's creative ability to show the old traditions in new light. Kuruvanji and other dance dramas drawn from Tamil literature have gained beauty because of Ramaya Pillai's choreographic contributions. Dances which he composed for verses from Thivarams and Devya Prabandhams have become part and parcel of the repertoire of his disciples. He has composed dances for the song of Muthuvandar, Marimuthu Pillai, Vediyangam Pillai, Gopalakrishna Bharati, Desi Vignayakam Pillai, Othukadu Venkat Subba Iyer, Papanasam Sivan and others. He also composed his own Tilanas, Jatiswarams and Tamil Sabdams. He preferred teaching compositions which emphasize the path of devotion. Ramaya Pillai introduced many karanas and stangas newly to the dances he taught his disciples. The abhinay of this style is supple, suggestive and evocative rather than illustrative. The emotion is conveyed primarily through the eyes and hands and have subsidiary function in embellishing the meaning further. Care is taken not to distort the face even while depicting emotions like bhivasta, disgust, since visual aesthetics is the norm. Even allusions to stories, events and brief and precise. Abhinay follows the music and not vice versa. The Vazhuovur school preferred Bhakti and Madhura Bhakti as its motive. In his treatise on dance, Ramaya Pillai says that the purpose is to impress upon the people through a Bharatanatyam recital, Bhakti, aesthetic sense, good character, the lore, legend and history and anything else of positive value. And it is necessary to eschew the vulgar, prosaic and aspects that cause titillation. Even if some of the old compositions contain such features, they should be modified or omitted totally. The drishti or the parva is another characteristics feature of this style. Some of his famous disciples include Kamala Lakshman, her sister Radha, Kanaka Srinivasan, Chitra Visweswaran, L. Vijay Lakshmi, E.V. Saroja, Hema Malini Arni, Lalita Padmini Ragini, Padma Subramaniam, M. Bhanumati, Jaya Bharati, Prema Jagdisan, etc. To continue the tradition, he also nurtured and trained efficient Natunars like S. K. Rajaratnam Pillai, K. J. Sarasa, Padamadi Ramaswamy, Gopalakrishnan, Kameshwaram, and his own son, Vallur Samraj Pillai, who unfortunately died. Guru Ramaya Pillai was a genius in composing dance for films. He happened to be on the set when the main choreographer, one Mr. Kulkarni, failed to turn up and Ramaya Pillai got his first break in Tamil films. Guru Ramaya Pillai was one of the first dance masters to get credit as choreographer in this occasion. His first film where he composed dance was in 1930s called Adrishtam. He composed the dance by accident because he happened to be on the movie set where he was taking or chaperoning his younger sister Radha, who was also acting in this film at that time. The producer felt a Bharatanatyam sequence would be appropriate for that particular dance sequence. They were shooting and locating a Natuvnar, and at such short notice, then in 1940s as today in the new century, it was difficult to get anyone qualified at a short notice. So, Ramaya Pillai, who was there and knew Bharatanatyam, volunteered to compose the dance. This coincidence provided him with the confidence to seriously pursue the art of composing dance for films, for cameras, and also choreography, and thus he ventured to become a serious, full-fledged Natuvnar at that point. His film, the first one, Adrishtam, truly brought him luck because that's the meaning of the word. From there on, he attracted many students after the success of this film, and many young Bharatanatyam actresses, Vajayanti Mala, Saroja, E.V. Saroja, many others were attracted and learnt this style till we had Padma Subramaniam, whose own father, the famous director Subramaniam, made many films on dance with Ramaya Pillai as the master choreographer. The rest was history. From then, there was no looking back. Director Subramaniam, Padma Subramaniam's father, enrolled him and his career was set. He gave hits after hits. The beauty of his style was such that it suited the camera. It also choreographed short pieces for films. He could devise steps diagonally that suited long shots. Being young, he was able to work hard, and long hours a film shoot demanded, which other two senior gurus, Meenakshi Sundaram Pillai and Muthukumaran Pillai, would not undertake easily due to old age. Ramaya Pillai thus won many new aspirants since films were mass-based, and his star students like Kamala, Padma, Vajayanti Mala, though Vajayanti Mala had initially learnt from Dandadapani Pillai, and more. Guru Ramaya Pillai retired from full-time teaching and conducting in the early 60s, and from 1965 onwards his son Samraj inherited the Gaddi when he was hardly 25 years old. Samraj too introduced some changes and innovations. According to him, the Vazhuovur Bani was a vibrant synthesis of Natya and Abhinaya, unlike the Pandanallur style, which emphasizes the former, and the Kanchipuram tradition, which lays stress on the latter. He is credited with choreographing of new Adavu Jatis, which give the impression of speeding up the dance. Some of his disciples include Jayanti Rajgopal, Jayanshri Rajaram, Radha Venkatraman, Satya and Shobhana Jai Singh. Ramaya's another son, Vinayakam, became a freelance music director, singer and actor, though he was trained by his father and brother Samaraj to perform Natuvangam. Guru S.K. Rajaratnam Pillai, 1931 to 1994, worked with Ramaya Pillai for 14 years from age 17. In 60s, he married Ramaya's niece. He started his own dance school, Kamala Kala Nilayam, in 1970. It was renamed as Raj Ratnalaya Bharat Kalanakudam by his guru Vazhuovur Ramaya Pillai. Guru Rajaratnam Pillai, 1931 until 1994, was one of the prime gurus and students of Guru Ramaya Pillai who continued his work, especially away from Madras in Mumbai. The common core of his lessons was the blend of basic techniques, the geometric precision, clarity and the gift of innovation that he exercised amongst all his students. He was known for his musical talent, brisk jatis, elegant natuvangam and choreographic skills, all no doubt acquired from his guru. Rajaratnam Pillai would make the class interactive, and he preferred individual classes because he choreographed each item according to the capacity of the individual learner or student. One with flexible limbs would be taught with more adavus and more movement. One with more skill in abhinaya would be taught with more sancharis. And one with excellent thala understanding would be taught with tough jatis with different nadais incorporated. He would incorporate more adavus in difficult poses for the audiences who were better at understanding this kind of delivery. He kept in mind the height, the flexibility, strengths and weaknesses of the students before he choreographed. Guru Rajaratnam Pillai had this philosophy that dance offers something for everybody. He laid emphasis on the strong points and reduced or focused less on one's weak points, finally giving everyone a very aesthetic, visual, pleasing outcome. His choreography for some of his prime students like Malvika Sarukai, Priyadarshini Govind and others, Srinidhi Chidambaram, was more abhinaya based and so on. Later, they evolved on their own and went to different specialists for learning each aspect. As a teacher, he would give more freedom for his students to put in their thought and creativity into dance. That was the reason why he could produce maximum number of professional dancers in a place like Mumbai. His two sons did not study dance or music, but his daughter Jayamala Pandian combined academic studies with dance and runs her own school in Bangalore. His granddaughter Nritya Pillai is active performer. Rajaratnam Pillai's sister, grandson Swami Valai Suresh underwent rigorous training for a decade in music, dance and Natuvangam from him. Suresh provides vocal and Natuvangam accompaniment to dancers like Urmila Satyanarayan, Nirupma Vaidyanathan, Priyadarshini Govind, Ramya Ramnarayan, Ramya Harishankar, Srinidhi Chidambaram, Vidya Subramanyam, Sandhya Shri Atmakuri, Sujata Srinivasan are some of the Rajaratnam's well-known disciples. K.G. Sarasa, another student of Ramya Pillai, belonging to Isai Velayar community, started her training before 1947 and had her Arangetram in 1949. She founded her own school, Sarasalaya, in Chennai. She also started teaching and became teacher to important third generation dancers like Kamal Hassan, Chitra Visweswaran, Ratna Papa, etc. K.G. Sarasa, 1937 to 2012, carried aloft the flag of Vazhuovur tradition of Bharatanatyam most impressively for more than 5 decades. Her ancestors were court musicians who enjoyed the patronage of the Tanjore rulers. Her grandfather Rajgopalan was the Asthana Vidvana of the Tirular temple. Her father Jagdishan Pillai and her uncle Nateshan Pillai were Nagaswara artists in Tanjore, it is claimed. Vallur Ramaya Pillai was related to the family and K.N. Dandadapani Pillai was a paternal cousin. Sarasa spent her early childhood in Karaikal. When the little girl saw baby Kamala perform, she fell in love with dance. She wanted to learn the art and soon got an opportunity to do so when Katumunar Muthukumaran Pillai, Kamala's first guru, agreed to come from Mayoram every week to teach a few children. This continued for about a year. But Muthukumaran Pillai was a busy Natuvnar and found it difficult to make a weekly journey to Karaikal. He therefore suggested that Sarasa should learn from Vallur Ramaya Pillai, who had also trained under him. Sarasa's parents did not have any apprehensions about sending their daughter to Madras with Ramaya Pillai as he was part of the extended family. Sarasa pursued dance under Ramaya Pillai through the Gurukula system for over a decade. She would often accompany her guru to the film studios and to the homes of some of his disciples when he went there to take classes. She choreographed dances for about 10 films for actresses like E.V. Saroja, Rajashri, etc., but gave up since her timings and the shooting schedules did not match. Sarasa was well versed in Carnatic music, having learned from well-known gurus like Ramanathapuram Krishnan, Rajgopal Iyengar and Valiyur Gurumurthy. She has also given some solo Carnatic vocal recitals. By Ramaya Pillai's encouragement, Sarasa started taking dance classes even as a teenager. Her first student to perform in Arangetram was Ratna Papa Kumar, now settled in Houston, USA, who started learning in 1952 and made her formal debut in 1956. Sarasa moved from Ramaya Pillai's Gurukulam to a house on Bhimaramana Murali Garden Street, where she established a dance school, Sarasa LN60, and taught for about 25 years before moving to Rani Annadurai Street in Mandavali in 1980s. Sarasa Akka or Sarasa Amma, as she is popularly known, groomed hundreds of students, many of whom have established a name for themselves in the field of Bharatanatyam as good performers and teachers. Over the years, Sarasa produced and choreographed more than 50 dance productions. Sarasa's style is marked by grace, ornamentation, sculpture poses, sparkling glances, and the charm of the traditional Vazhuovur style of Bharatanatyam. Her emphasis was on encouraging individuality and creativity within the confines of tradition, and not on imparting an assembly line uniformity and rigidity of her disciples. Sarasa was also open to accepting what is good in other Bani-s. Her Natuvangam had good Tallakattu and was orally and visually pleasing with no undue fuss on stage. Apart from teaching traditional items of the Bharatanatyam repertoire, Sarasa also choreographed dance for many popular compositions, old and new. It is quite amazing how Sarasa, a single young woman, established a name for herself in Madras in the 60s and emerged as a highly respected Natyacharya on the strength of her art. Of course, she was ably helped by Ramaya Pillai and family. Sarasa has the distinction of being one of the first and most successful lady Natunars of the traditional community in modern times. Her very uttering of Cholukattus was beautifully modulated, bringing out a little magic of her own, elevating the dance. Fondly referred to as Sarasa teacher by students, she derived great joy from training students, sharing and choreographing. Not that she didn't consider performing. As a teenager, Sarasa, like almost all students of dance, was fascinated by the idea of performance. However, her guru had told her, "You can teach all your life but not perform." She was not asked to do Natuvangam. Sarasa did not regret for not having performed. She was not fit for performance stage and thus stuck to teaching from an early age. She in fact maintained that what her guru had told her was right and worked out well for her. Teaching, she said, helped her take care of her family of 4 sisters and mother after her father's early demise. She was not only a great artist but also true Rasika who simply loved music and dance. She believed that a dancer needed to immerse herself in melody to be able to emote well. Sarasa's choreography of Krishna Parijatam, Aditya Hridayam, Shilpadikaram, Kunaradakudi Kuruvanji, Desa Bhakti and Kutrala Kuruvanji won critical acclaim. A torchbearer of the Vazhuovur Bani of Bharatanatyam, Sarasa has a rare distinction of conducting nearly 100 arangetrams and 200 recitals, including those of celebrated artists like Baby Kamla, Vijayanti Mala, Travancore sisters, a range of pupils including Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha and writer Sivasankari hail from her school. Noted dancers Ratna Papa, Urmila Satyanarayanan, dancer choreographer Raghu Raman, K. Shanmugasundaram, Sri Kala Bharat are among her disciples who have made a mark in the field. Over the years, many other youngsters were drawn to Sarasalaya. Her life was marked by simplicity and she was always well turned out, and her story is one of tremendous hard work, commitment and rare grit during difficult times.